Guys, I told you. Larry K here with Phin-Addict Fury, and I'm furious as always. I told you guys that I was waiting to see if the Dolphins could get to 500, if they could kill the narratives, like Tua said, kill the narratives by going up to Green Bay and beating Green Bay on the road, or at least being competitive against Green Bay in the cold, on the road, showing that they belong, because they have been playing good against crappy teams. And I said there's really no excuses. They've been playing pretty well. Um, but what did I say earlier in the year when they were getting on their losing streak? I don't believe in this team. I thought they had a chance to prove me wrong. I said it on the show. I want the Dolphins to prove me wrong. I want the Dolphins to prove me wrong. I'm a Dolphins fan. But the Dolphins could not prove me wrong. They proved me right. The Dolphins are what they are. They are a soft, disorganized mess of a team. They struggle in cold weather. They struggle against physical teams. They struggle against teams over 500. They struggle against playoff contenders. It is what it is. There's no way out of it. Tua, you can't blame Tua for this game. He had some errant throws, though. He had some throws that were really off the mark. Guys were open, especially that last drive of the first half. Guys were running open. He wasn't hitting them. They were way off. But for the most part, Tua was okay in this game. I mean, his stats looked pretty decent. Decent completion percentage. Decent, spreading the ball around. His pocket awareness is never going to be super elite. He's never going to put the team on his back and win it by himself. But I can't put this game on Tua. I can certainly put this game on head coach Mike McDaniel. I'm sick of this guy, and I'm sick of these type of soft coaches that we've consistently and continually brought in here under Stephen Ross. It's been an absolute mess. Now, we had some injuries in the secondary. Kohu goes down early. You lose Cam Smith. You lose guys all over the field in the secondary. It certainly hurt us. But where we were really dominated was in terms of rush yards. Green Bay just absolutely outgaining us on the ground by a ton of yards. They out-physicaled us. You have Brooks, who we got rid of, and he's out there running all over us. It's just an absolute mess, and we're not physical. Again, we can't tackle. Guys are catching the ball, and our defender pretty much just automatically falls down and tries to grab at his ankles, and the guy keeps going. Guys are breaking 3 and 4 and 5 tackles on their way to huge gains every time up and down the field, because our team plays soft. Everything about this team is soft. Now, the officiating to me seemed pretty one-sided tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. It seemed one-sided. But nonetheless, the Dolphins were still undisciplined. They're still committing a ton of penalties. They're still sloppy. They're not disciplined. They don't have control. They don't have a plan. Mike McDaniel, when we get in there, when the game's still on the line and we have a real chance to make a comeback, and we get into the red zone with a chance to get another touchdown closer, in the early fourth quarter, we can't convert. I didn't love the play calls. You can't convert. Tua goes down and gets sacked. Earlier in the game, we had another chance, and the play calling, I thought, was absolutely pathetic. We get into the red zone and we run some kind of outside run, and then we try to run a screen, and then before you know it, we can't do anything because we're 9-10 yards out from the end zone, and it's fourth down because we're running screen passes and outside runs at the wrong times. The offensive line was, I don't know, okay in pass protection at some of the time. Really not good in run blocking whatsoever. Couldn't really open up many holes at all for these guys. It's just another aspect of being a soft team. The fact is that this team, and I get the offensive line has some injuries too. Lamb goes down, but even Mr. All-Star on left tackle, Armstead, is totally whiffing on some blocks. And at the end of the day, the offensive line as a unit, yes, maybe they are a little better than I initially thought they were at the beginning of the season. But they're still not elite. They're still not as good as the offensive line we had at the beginning of last year. Sure, they're serviceable in pass pro. Sure, they've had games where we've run pretty well. But get up against a team like Green Bay and watch them really not get any traction at all in the run game and whiff a bunch of times in pass protection. And that's what happens there. Um, Defense, really the story. I mean, it's not Green Bay had guys who simply made plays. It wasn't like Jordan Love went out there and just absolutely dominated us through the air in an air raid system. The passing yards were relatively similar, and I thought he and Tua kind of played close games. The difference was Green Bay receivers are making catches and breaking multiple tackles and then converting and converting and converting all the way down the field because our defense plays soft and we are unorganized really on both sides of the ball. And offensively, there's no semblance of an identity in terms of what we want to establish consistently while we're driving. It's all just kind of up in the air. You could have, three nice runs in a row and then totally switch it up and try to go outside when you were having success going inside. You could have great throws, down the middle of the field, and then suddenly you want to throw screen passes to a totally different guy who shouldn't even be in the game. Obviously, it opens up right away with the botched punt, just right through his hands, not prepared, and it goes downhill from there. Just a bunch of discombobulation, a bunch of mistakes. It boils down to Mike McDaniel. But I'm not going to feed the narrative that Big O and these other guys want you to buy, which is it's all Mike McDaniel. I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of the excuses, the scapegoats. It's McDaniel. Let Tua and Greer stay. It's Greer. Let McDaniel and Tua stay. It's Tua. Let McDaniel pick a guy. No. Get rid of the GM and head coach, please, and let them decide what they're going to do with the quarterback and other positions. They want to keep Tua, keep them. You want to move on, move on. You want to bring competition, bring competition. The sad part is, guys, I'm here to tell you, they're not going to do any of that. The fact that Miami won a couple games against bad teams and got everybody in a tizzy, all these fans out there, oh, we're so close to the playoffs. Oh, look, I'm not going to lie. I was rooting for them after they won the first one. I wanted them to win the next two just so I could have fun in a game that meant something on Thanksgiving. But that was a stupid thing for me to root for because all they did was ruin the end of my Thanksgiving here. And I'm just kidding. They didn't ruin it because I'm still having a great day here and chilling with the fam and some food. But they did not make my Thanksgiving as good as I wanted them to make my Thanksgiving. They made it futile. I at least wanted to see a competitive game. And that's my problem because what happened with those meaningless wins is now Stephen Ross is not going to get rid of this regime. We are not going to get a good draft pick. And we're pretty much screwed and stuck with running this back once again next year. And worst of all, we're stuck with all the fans out there who are going to make up things to make themselves feel better and keep telling us that things are going to get better because of this. If Tua would have played more games from the concussion, we would have been better. If this guy didn't get hurt, if that didn't happen, if it didn't snow in Green Bay, if blah, 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 all these excuses, let me tell you something. Those excuses don't hurt me. They don't bother me. What those excuses do is you design them to make yourself feel better about the actual facts here. And the actual facts are that the Miami Dolphins are a mediocre, soft football team with poor leadership and a really hollow and bankrupt culture who can't get it done against winning teams, can't get it done in cold weather, can't get it done in the clutch, and can't get it done at the point of attack when it's time to execute, when it matters. They can't get it done. They will never get it done under this regime and under this iteration of the team. I've told you that several times. I'm telling you that again. That's why I didn't jump on the bandwagon when they beat crappy teams like the Patriots. Who cares? The Rams, I really didn't care. The Rams played like crap. The Rams are mediocre. I wanted to see at least a competitive game against a good team like Green Bay, and they couldn't get it done. They look like a joke. Once again, they consistently look like a joke. Mike McDaniel looking up at the scoreboard, not knowing what's going on. Now, Matt LaFleur and Love and these guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball for Green Bay and Rashawn Gary and all these guys out there, they lose Ballantyne early on a special teams play, yet they're still getting up. They're still playing hard. They're still hitting hard. They're still mauling guys. On the offensive side of the ball, they're running hard. These guys have a culture. These guys have it together, and props to Green Bay for winning that game and absolutely running us out of the stadium like we deserve because we ain't nothing. The Miami Dolphins ain't nothing. They are not in the Packers level. They will not be on the Packers level anytime soon. And this is what we have. You can go out now and you could win against the Jets and you could win against these other nonsensical teams and maybe beat San Francisco, who's depleted and beaten down when they come to your house. And I doubt you beat Houston, but whatever you squeak out, you can squeak out and you can make yourself feel better. But at the end of the day, the Miami Dolphins are not a good team, and that's what we're stuck with. And that's why here on the Phin-Addict Fury channel, I'll keep it real. I'll tell you, hey, Tua played a decent game today. Not a perfect game. Could have done better, but a decent game. Tua's been playing better than I've seen the last several weeks. But I'm not one of those guys that's going to give you false hope and lie to you and inflate your egos by telling you the Dolphins are going to make some magical playoff run until I see them in action and actually win a game that matters. And I told you I wasn't going to say anything until they won this game, or at least were competitive in this game. But sure enough, as always, as expected, they fall flat on their frickin' fins, flat on their frickin' face, and we're stuck here picking up the pieces, and I'm stuck here talking to you guys picking up the pieces, which is why on this channel we don't jump on bandwagons, we don't blow smoke and sunshine up your butts, we keep it 100% real. Look, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, regardless of the Fins sucking wind like they always do. Congratulations to everybody who congratulations to the Packers, congratulations to the Lions and Dan Campbell. How about that? We had him as a coach and we let him go for Adam friggin' Gase. My dad and I were talking about that today. Campbell, who's 11-1 with Detroit, 11-1 with Detroit, we let him go for Adam Crazy Eyes Gase. Put that in perspective. Put that in your after dinner pipe and smoke that, because they suck. But I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody got time with their families. I hope this game didn't ruin it for you. This game don't mean that much. Don't let the Dolphins make you cry like Hootie and the Blowfish. And that's it. I mean, congratulations to Alec Ingold with the great spot at halftime. Great young man, great player, great dude. But the Dolphins are soft. The Dolphins ain't going to get it done. You got to clean this up. You got to get rid of this culture, this regime. It's a failure. It's been a failure. It's been, 6 years under this Chris Greer plan. It's completely failed. It's clunked. And what's up with not even entertaining Shaq Barrett coming back? That makes no sense. You could use all the help you can get, but the Dolphins say, no thanks. We're too good for you. Well, whatever. A more bull from this team. This team and this regime is crap. It's too much of Chris Greer now. It's year 3 of Mike McDaniel, and he still ain't getting it done. It's worse than last year. Flush this thing down the toilet. I'm sick of it. But guys, if you watch me for the rants, if you see my face more than once, even if this is the first time, if you respect the fact that I keep it real and I'm here live and direct to talk to you, no matter what's going on with the Dolphins, click that subscribe button. Please click subscribe. Let's get ourselves up to 3,000 and think about joining. We got behind the scenes stuff. I write a column. You can support the channel. It's like literally less than $2 a month. It's nothing. Click join and join the channel. Become an official Fury fan member. We'd love to have you. Shouts to all our current members. Shouts to all the subscribers. Even though the Dolphins friggin' suck, I love all you guys and hope you had a very great holiday. And you're going to hear from me very soon because I do this for you. Fury Fam and Larry K will always be in effect. Love you guys. Dolphins did it again. They prove what they are, and what they are is mediocre and not good enough, and it is what it is, but it's the whole team. You won't catch me blaming one player here. It's the whole team, and definitely the coach and some, their management. But I can't think of much else to say. Maybe I'll talk a little more stats and a little more of a logical breakdown, play-by-play when I talk to you later, but just brutal how the game starts the way it starts. You have a special teams screw up. You let Green Bay get up on you 14-0. The best you can muster is a field goal, and that's because you call some pretty crappy plays. Green Bay continues to build the lead with touchdowns and field goals. You can't convert when it matters most, and you can't get off the field when it matters most against Green Bay. They are constantly running over you and breaking tackles, and you look soft, and then you're playing sloppily all game. You finally get a touchdown, and it looks like the momentum has shifted a bit. You put yourself back in position to score a touchdown, and you turn it over on downs because you just can't get it done. And what else is new? Tua goes down in a sack. How many times have we seen Tua go down in sacks on fourth down? How many times? It's a trend because this team doesn't have a plan and because we can't execute in the clutch as good as we'd like to. I understand we converted another fourth down, but it's just not good enough at the end of the game. It's just not good enough at the end of the day. Click subscribe, follow Larry K, watch the other content creators as well. Bless everybody on a happy Thanksgiving holiday, and I'll talk to you all very